Howdy everyone, Andy here from Team Completed It. Just wanted to give a big shout out to our supporters and sponsors over at My Hero UK. My Hero UK is a one-stop shop app for all your comic book needs. Buy, sell, trade, amazing service over at My Hero UK. Head on over to your app store, type in My Hero UK, download the app, and the boys will take care of the rest. If you want to check them out, go to www.myherouk.co.uk. Thanks for the support, boys, and enjoy the show. Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Completed It. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and as you can see, my illustrious co-host is at the bottom of my screen this week. Stash, how are you, brother?
All good, mate. All good. Just getting around for another round of
Yeah,
completed.
let's do. We are flying. The one we done on Monday had over 2,000 views. We're doing something right over here. We are very honoured to have a very special guest with us today. We talk about our favourite TV shows, etc., and our favourite movies on this program, on this show all the time. One of our favourite shows, Sash, I think everyone on the planet's favourite show of all time is 24. We are very, very honored and humbled to say our guest today is someone who has been in 24. Louis Lombardi, how are you, sir?
Great, great. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on our show, my friend. Louis, you were in some of the greatest shows of all time. You've been in The Sopranos. You've been in 24. You've starred in things like Beverly Hills Cop. You've done Spider-Man. I mean, Louis, when you look back at it, does it ever dawn on you that you're like, wow, we were just talking off camera there. You were like talking to us about attending a Comic Con and you didn't realize how big these certain shows were. We'll talk about 24 first of all. You didn't realize how big it was. And then you attend something like a Comic Con. Obviously, you played Edgar Stiles in 24, seasons 4 and some of season 5, which we'll get to.
The
Um,
greatest season.
it
That's
was,
my
it,
that's my personal favorite season,
yeah,
man.
Five,
it was,
five,
yeah. I reckon it was peak 24. Season
Yeah,
4
oh
and
yeah.
5 were.
That show went off the hook for season
Yeah, I
five.
think it took over the
Yeah.
world. But Lewis, what was it like for you, Lou? Just like you say, when you do reflect and you're like, hang on a minute, I've been in The Sopranos, I've been in 24. I mean, what's it like for you just as an actor to like you're synonymous now with some of the greatest TV shows of all time?
Thank you, man. I'm just a very uh appreciative as an actor. I'm very lucky where as a big Italian American, right? It's everybody's like gangster, gangster, gangster. I'm so fortunate my whole career is opposite. I mean, on Sopranos, I play an FBI agent.
Hmm
24, I play a sad FBI agent, right? Because on Sopranos, I was the tough guy. I don't know if you ever watched Sopranos.
I did.
I was like, I will bust you up, pussy, and I will get you. And then on 24, I'm like, Chloe, I'm not. Shut up, Edgar. Okay, I'll shut up. So,
Yeah,
and it's funny because I did Entourage as well, right? So that role as entourage role, I play cousin Ronnie, Turtle's cousin.
mm,
And out of all the roles I've ever played, cousin Ronnie is me in real life. Like if I didn't become an actor, I'm cousin Ronnie in real life, trying to sell you everything on the streets of the Bronx. Hey, what can I get you? What can I do? I got a bar, I got a jersey, you know. But 24 to me was and Sopranos. I'm not like those are 50-50 with me, meaning quality of work, quality of show, quality of roles.
mm,
Because 24 was a hard role. People don't understand, I don't want to give it away, like I said, season 5, but we'll get to it. But during season 4, let's just start with, my mom dies like early on, remember?
hmm
So people don't understand that's one day, it's one day. So
mm.
you got to carry that emotion crying almost every episode for the whole year. So every time you show up to work, it's taking a toll, like you're crying and you're sad every scene. My mom dies, and so it was really a challenging role to do every day.
Mm,
When in Sopranos, it was more like real life aggression. Hey man, so opposite ends of the world, but the same quality of television. Does that make
mm.
sense?
Yeah,
You know
it
what?
does.
You know what? I got to speak about that particular moment. With the mum dying. I remember watching 24 with my boys or with my dad when he was alive and stuff. And when I used to watch films and stuff, it never, didn't really resonate with me. And you know what? I actually watched the clip before you came on, kind of thing. And I watched it and I started welling up.
I
And
still do.
but
To be honest,
and that's the job well done and well served because you feel everything in that moment. And then you're telling me you got to do that and when you think about it, yeah, of course that makes sense because you've got
yeah,
to bring it every day,
for a
that
year.
feeling,
Yeah.
and it's there, man. And I think that's really you are right. That's really underappreciated by an audience, I think, because you're doing it all the time for that moment for those few hours. And that's quite a challenge.
And you're rehearsing it at home.
Yeah.
So you're
Mm,
doing it on a 24/7 basis for 8 months.
Wow.
Remember, you come home,
mm.
you're rehearsing it. You're not sitting here laughing. You're going, but crying, and you kind of, I'm very lucky where I can bring emotions out in 2 seconds. I'm very lucky like that as an actor. A lot of people struggle, but I was fortunate. But as I would come home and it would be okay. I got to rehearse for tomorrow, and I'm crying on my couch, and I do it for 5 days, and then I restart the next week, and that was kind of a I wouldn't say as much as tough, but a real acting challenge
Mm.
to be able to do it every single day. And I still watch that clip too, like you just said, and I still cry all the time,
Wow.
you know? And
Louis,
I
how
think it was,
how
I'm sorry, I did
no,
just,
you're
I
good.
think it was the moment of the mom's calmness,
Mm,
Mm,
not
yeah.
franticness that people were like, she's accepting death.
yeah,
I mean, could you imagine, like, God forbid, your mom is on the phone, she's like, I'm dying, but I love you. I
it's
don't care,
crazy.
like you said. I don't, and
And when the boss comes and says, what would she do? I'm
she
not gonna
had
lie.
so much
Yeah,
slack with that.
yeah,
That poor woman basically was the sweetest person in the world. When she did that to me, you want to arrest you? I go, you're
yeah,
going to arrest me?
yeah,
And yeah, and she got a lot of slack. People hated her after that. People were like, you're terrible. You're terrible. I'm like, okay. Like, meanwhile, she's the sweetest person. She was bullying Edgar, and people hated her for that. The stuff that came through on the pipeline, like the reviews,
yeah,
and people were trashing her. And the character was so sympathetic and sad that, like you said, I was on Sopranos, right? So I'm on Sopranos, and I get all these guys like us, big guys. Yeah, yeah, what's up? And everybody's like, yeah, you killed pussy, you rat. And I'm like, I'm the rat. Wait, I'm the FBI agent who busted a heroin dealer, who beats his wife who has cancer, who kills people with a hammer, and I'm the rat, right? And then you get these guys on Sopranos, whether they're models in bikinis or street dudes, they're like, "Hey, Sopranos!" Hey, I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" When I'm walking around, I see people. I could tell my daughter, 24 fan. It's become a game now. And they're like, oh my God. Guys, big guys like us, they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't want to bother you. You were great on Edgar was great, my favorite guy I love. And I'm like, oh wait, no, come back. Let's take a picture.
Let's take a
Because they're
selfie.
not doing, hey, you rat punk, hey. And I'm like, okay. But it's such a different audience too. There's no really crossovers because when I go out, people go, he's on Sopranos. The guy's like, he's on 24. And people don't put it together.
Mm.
They go, no, was that? I go, no, I'm on both. And people go, oh my God, we didn't even
It's
realize
a
that.
sign of a good actor, that, Louis. That's the
yeah,
sign of a good
100%.
actor, my friend.
You did mention those three particular roles. Those are the actual shows. I used to watch Entourage all the time, and like I love the character of Turtle and what's it, Johnny Drama. Johnny Drama is my favorite character on that show because he's that
and, he-
underdog man, and you got to root for the underdog. But like that scene with
and he's
you,
like that in
Drama
real
and
life.
Turtle. What's that?
And he's like that in real life.
Really? I did.
He's crazy. He's a great guy.
Oh
Kevin
man,
Dillon, you're
he's
talking
he's
about. Kevin
amazing in
Dillon.
that fit in that show, even in the movie as well. When he gets the Oscar at the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, finally, Trump victory.
I love it. Lou, how hard is it when you're filming something like 24? Because it was such a unique show the way it was done. It was 24 hours. Does
Yeah.
that differentiate from when you're acting in that, knowing that? right, this is you're acting in that hour, and always come the end of that hour, and we'll get to probably the most important end of an hour between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. when Edgar, we'll get to that. But you as an actor, do you process things differently? Because when you worked on Sopranos and Entourage, and it's a TV show. 24 is so specific to that 1 hour because
Yeah.
you're like you want to hook people. And I remember I told this story before on the show. I got into 24 when I was really ill. I had the flu. I couldn't leave the house. Me and my wife. I promise you, we went through 3 seasons in 3 and a bit days because it would end and we were like, no, I'm not sleeping. I need to know. I know Sash done this with his boys. They stayed up all night watching it. For you as an actor, did you have to process things differently knowing, right, this is not like a this is not like an hour long episode where like the ending might not matter. With every ending in 24, you were like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And especially the season you were in, season 4 and 5, like Sash said at the start, peak
Yeah.
24. How was it for you acting in that situation?
Well, everything was the difference between 24 and like a Sopranos, just say. Sopranos is more one-offs, meaning you're shooting scenes, they're not like the next moment. They're a day later, a month later, a week later. So there's a transfer of time, you know? Not everything is like immediate. With 24, you know, every single second mattered on that show. And
Mm,
when people would say, they wouldn't even go to the bathroom because when you get back, if you miss 10 seconds, you're lost.
mm.
With Sopranos, you could watch episode one, episode five. You still know what's going on.
You can pick it up,
Somebody's
yeah.
getting hit in the head with a knife or a meat cleaver and thrown in the trunk, or you knew that you knew if you missed a minute of Sopranos, you could still understand. If you miss a minute of 24, you're lost. What
Mm.
happened? Where's the bomb? Where's the technique? Where's it? Right? And and that's the difference, and when I did 24, I was such I was like one of me and Keitha were the only people who did the entire season, 24 episodes of 24 on fourth season. We were the only actors who didn't. I was on every single episode with that. And it's a tough thing. You're doing 8 months, 15, 16 hours a day,
Wow.
basically 5 days a week shooting, but 7 days a week working. Of course, on the weekends, you're home crying, getting ready for the week.
Yeah.
So it was a tough thing compared to like a normal show like Sopranos, where again it's a one-off, meaning you're doing these scenes with me and Big Pussy. It's like, okay, a week later, Big Pussy, so you're not like it's not an urgency as much as 24 was. And the
Mm.
thing about 24, no one knew too, is your wardrobe, your beard, your hair, whatever you decided day one you had to go through the whole entire year with that outfit, wardrobe, everything. Whether you have a pen in your desk, whatever it was, had to be there the whole year. So the
Continuity.
continuity,
Oh. Is that
Yeah,
even
it,
harder as an actor then? Because you can't grow your beard, you can't do
yeah.
certain things.
So the first year I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to get on. I'm like, oh God, I can't do anything. I can't shave. I get them. The next year I was like, I want pajamas. I want a beard. I want my hair and I want to wear a hat.
I want to be sitting at my desk at CTU just in my pajamas.
Yeah, and then they gassed me. I
Yeah.
guess I asked too much.
Let's just briefly get to that. Obviously, Edgar's character in season 5, Lou. When you Google some of the saddest TV deaths, which there have been many over the years, yours is in the top 10.
Wow.
It's incredible. I mean, I rewatched the episode today, inhaling Sentox nerve gas. If you're gonna go, not they killed you off in some sort of style, but I remember watching that, and because I think you had built such a connection with the audience from season 4, you become a beloved character, and I think 24 is one of them shows you're so engrossed. Nothing matters around you. You are like, Jack Bauer
Right.
is real, Chloe's real, Edgar's real. Everything in your life is like you're talking to your friends about it. Did you see 24 last night? Did you see this? And then I remember the episode where you died. And I just remember like, oh my God. And I remember like Chloe looking from behind the glass. And it's a TV show. But I just remember thinking, oh fuck, they killed him. Of all the people they kill in 24, like all the people they don't kill in 24, you think, I wish this bastard would die. They went and killed you off in CTU in the middle of they were all trying to evacuate the building. Edgar, get out. And you're thinking, straight away, I'm thinking, he ain't getting out, is he? And I remember just thinking, this poor bastard's gonna die here. And I remember watching an interview with you some years ago. I was still obsessed with 24, and you were like, I didn't really know how I was gonna do it. I was shocked they killed me off. when you do get such a good role and you were so beloved by all the fans and you were such a great character, when the producers and the directors have come 24 and they go, "Hey Lou, season 5, you're gonna be in 13 episodes and then we're gonna kill you off. But you're gonna
Oh,
go,
they didn't tell me that. It was
yeah,
like a
how
week. It
did
was
it
like
go?
two.
Yeah. How did it
It
all
was
go
like
down and how did you feel?"
it was just like 2 weeks before. They were like, "Hey, we got to talk to you." And when they do that, it's almost like John Gotti saying, "Hey, let's go into the social club and shut the door." You know, you're not coming out, right?
Yeah.
So, so I mean, I was really upset because I thought the character was so loved,
Mm.
and I couldn't understand why you would do it. And when they did it, I mean, they did it in a great way where it was, like you said, one of the most memorable deaths. They could have just had me get hit by a car or something, but the death was so memorable because he was still trying to save people.
Yeah.
And but they were like, "Get out!" And he ran to help everyone again, like his mom,
Yeah.
himself. He saved the nuclear. I don't know. Remember the nuclear reactors he shut
Yeah.
down? He saved the world. He saved his, tried to save his mom, and everyone kept bullying him. So the fans had such a connection with him that when they killed me, that show got such a backlash. Like the ratings dropped in half. They never picked back up. They got, I mean, even the writers were like, "Yeah, we're getting death threats. Like, this is
Oh
kind of
wow.
crazy." Yeah, they were like, they got such a backlash that even like I was with Sherry Lansing at a basketball game. She was like the head of Paramount for like 50 years, like the woman in Hollywood. And she was like, her husband was Bill Friedkin, William Friedkin, who did like,
Oh, the Exorcist guy.
yeah, all those
Yeah,
movies. The French Connection. Bill Friedkin was like a big director, was her husband.
yeah.
He was with me and he was like, "Louis, when you died, she went to the president of Fox and said, 'You guys made a horrible mistake.'" He said she went off on them.
Oh
And
wow.
and so many people like were like was saying that they were like, "Why did you do that? Why did you kill this character?" It kind of was like jumping the shark of the show. People were telling me, like reporters and people on there and actors going. It was almost like, and that's when 24 kind of started slowing down on the ratings and on the characters. You didn't really remember many characters after that, but you remember like a lot of the characters before season, 6,
Hmm.
right?
Are you allowed to
And
come back at them with anything, Louis? When they come to you and like say, as an actor, I don't know if it's something that actors are not allowed to do. It's probably the wrong word. Are you allowed to go? I don't think this is right for the character. Or, as an actor, you just
yeah.
got to be like, oh shit, I've just
You,
got to go along with this.
yeah, it's up to the studio. It's up to really the studio. Even had called me and said it wasn't our decision. They
Oh
thought it was going to be a shocker to the show, and it ended up turning off viewers. People were
shit.
so upset that they killed us. It's like killing a puppy. He was a sad sack, like he wasn't harmful to anyone. He tried to
Yeah.
help everyone. He cried in every episode. People really felt emotionally attached to Edgar, trying to save his mom. Who wouldn't try to save their mom? And try to like be emotional and and go into that whole thing. So people really felt that emotional attachment with the whole dynamic of the sadness of the family dying, and then him trying to help people and dies himself. So when they did it and it happened, people thought it was going to be, oh my God, he's going to, like we kill everyone else. It ended up turning the audience off, and it kind of started like, and the writers were great on that show to keep that up for 8 years or five, however long again, to keep that up 24 hours every day is an amazing thing to the writers on that show. So when they came to me, I was kind of just like, okay, it's your decision, it's your show.
Mm.
If I own a pizzeria and I want to sell, chicken wings, I'm going to sell them. It's my shop, whether you don't want them or not. So that's kind of like the way I took it. Like, okay, it's business. Did I miss it? Absolutely. Was it a great character? It should have went on for 3 more seasons with me and
Yeah.
Chloe. It
Mm.
real people say it. And I'm talking about Peter Lagori was the head of Fox at the time and said we had no say in this. They called me and said it was the producers. They thought it would be, shocking, and they made a mistake. And a lot of people would come. I mean, I'm talking about not just regular civilians, like people in the business, like Sherry Lansing, Bill Friedkin, like
Mm.
like Billy Crystal, like guys with people who I knew would come up to me and tell me, "I don't know why they did that. We don't know why they did that." Blah blah blah, and I'd be like, "It's the business, I didn't take it really personal." You can't take every single thing that happens to you personally, or else you'll walk around miserable especially when it's business. This is a
Mm.
business, entertainment business, show business. So, to my defense, the character was great because of the writing in a way. People felt bad and they loved it, but half of it was my person, being me and being, a different actor than it was on Sopranos. So it was tough, but again, we should have went on 3 more seasons, me and Chloe. I think so.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
should have had a spin-off, me and Chloe. We had such a bond and a great rapport together. People just loved us, you know? And it
Mm.
was it was the reverse thing. You know, usually you got the big guy telling the girl, blah, 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 blah. But in this scenario, it was a 5 foot, 100 pound girl yelling at this big goon, screaming at him every day,
I
telling him
know,
to
right?
shut up and be quiet. And I'm just like, okay, okay, you know?
Yeah.
So
What was it like working with Keitha? Obviously, he's now
great.
synonymous for Jack Bauer. I mean, you look throughout the history of the great TV shows, Jack Bauer. You know, I went and watched like Taken and things like that, and you're like, you're just a poor Jack Bauer. I think there's only ever going to be one Jack Bauer. What was it like working with Keitha? Is one question, and just to follow up, because I know Sasha's got a couple of questions. Would
He's
you like to?
amazing. He's
Yeah.
amazing. Let me tell you something. You know, a lot of this stuff, as you remember, I was on the ear thing talking to Jack, remember? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Jack, we got a thing. Blah, blah. That Kiefer wasn't in his trailer eating sushi, and he was in front of you doing his lines, moving. So I found it fascinating that this is a real actor. Like he's not sitting around hiding, doing off-camera lines. This dude is acting in front of you, right in front of the so when I was watching, it looked like like I was watching a computer, but I was actually had the ear and I'm watching him, and I'm like thinking in my mind, I've been doing this 40 years, 45
Mm.
years as an actor, and I've never seen a star come and do off-screen lines like he's in the scene. He's supposed to be like on a helicopter or a car. Meanwhile, he's in front of me in CTU doing off-camera lines like he's had the camera on him. That's a real actor. That's a respectful, real actor who respects other talent. Because most actors, well, I'll be in my trailer. Then they got the AD reading the lines. Keitha was on point every day forever. And that's why the show, I think, really worked. The writing was amazing to keep the people going. But Keitha is just, he's so intense in every scene, right? Did he ever smile in the end of the episode? And no, I don't even know. But he was a great actor. He was a great leader. Treated everyone with respect. He walked in, said hello to everyone every morning, every day. And again, even if he wasn't on camera, he was performing, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. So
Yeah.
I got much love for Kiefer Sutherland massively. I would love to work with him any day, anytime, you
Oh well,
know?
for such a badass though, he had the stupidest daughter in the world. How can one girl nearly get kidnapped every bloody season? I mean, it used to drive me and my wife mental. We were like, "Come on, girl, how stupid are you?" It was one. It's like I
Like
was like, "Come on,
it's like you're in the woods and Jason's behind you.
yeah,
Run!
yeah,
Watch out for that
run."
branch. You don't
I
trip.
know it's crazy. Last one from me, Lou. They tried other things with 24, 20. They done the Die Another Day, etc., etc. With the world we are in now and TV shows are coming back left, right, and center, I genuinely think 24 should come back.
They said that they're trying to plan a reboot now. You know what I think they should do. This is but the middle of my. But what I think of being on, I'm very lucky. I've been on a lot of great shows, so I think they should do the prequel, not the sequel.
Mm,
Meaning, how did they get there? How did Chloe get to CTU? How did Edgar get there? How did Kiefer? How did this come about?
mm,
Because people are always interested in the beginning, right? How did you
yeah.
start? How did you do that? That's what I get a lot from people. How did you start as an actor? You see the body
Mm,
of work 30 years later, but how did you get there? And my story of becoming an actor is even crazier. How I became an actor. I grew up on the streets of the Bronx. I went to fifth grade. I didn't go to acting school, film school. I didn't go to any school, right? We were all on the streets. We were street kids, all of us growing up in the Bronx. And I looked at the streets and I said, this is horrible. Like my grandfather did 30 years in prison. My uncles did 10, 15 years. My brother went to jail. My cousin did 5 years. All of my friends did 25 years in federal prison. So the
wow.
majority of my foundation was all jail, incarceration, and addiction from people. Now, I wasn't addicted, but I would visit the prisons. Everybody I know on the streets was addicted or incarcerated or killed. So as I got older, it wasn't cool anymore.
Mm,
I've been visiting the federal prison since I'm 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 years old. I have
wow.
pictures of me at 5 in Lewisburg Penitentiary to 45, still visiting my grandfather and everyone my friends. So I've always been inside that, in that mindset of incarceration. And,
Hmm.
and so when you're a kid, 5, 6, 8, 10, you're in the visiting room, you're eating out the vending machine, all the guys are doing 20 years. Hey, this is great. But as you go on and now you're 5, now you're 15, 10 years later, and these guys are miserable, rotten in this prison, I started going, this is not what I want. Like I'm born into it. This is all I know. but I want something different. I don't want to be in a cell at 40 doing
Mm.
20 years. I just don't. So I found an outlet. NYU films I would do. I didn't really go to school, so I didn't like acting classes. So I refused to go to acting classes. I didn't have money to go to NYU. It was $100,000 a year 30 years ago. So what I did was I said, how do I get in? I mean, I'll show you. I have headshots at 13 years old. People go,
Mm.
no, when'd you get your big break? Sopranos? I did 100 movies before Sopranos.
Yeah.
So when I would audition, I would send my headshots to NY to a thing called Backstage, where they have all the little films and independent films that would go on, and I would just submit. At 13, I would go Thursday when the newspaper came out. Thursday morning, I would submit 20 headshots to every project. And I got a lot of things, but I got a lot of NYU films. And what NYU films did was it gave me the foundation of not being in an acting class, but you want a real set, real people shooting a real movie.
Mm.
So I learned how to act for free, but more importantly, I learned how to be on a real set, learn how to make movies for free. So you got $100,000 education. I'm piggybacking and getting it for free.
Mm.
I
And
had
I
a
ended up,
similar experience making short films. A friend of mine, he paid to go to Rain Dance, the Rain Dance Film Academy in London, and he paid a lot of money. And I used to film short films with my friends, and he needed someone to film like a behind the scenes thing for the actors, for to get extra
right,
credits in class. So I went there, and all these people, they're all students and stuff, and they're all helping each other's movies and stuff. And they
right,
see I'm
yeah,
the behind the scenes guy, and next minute, I'm getting like their numbers because they want a behind the scenes movie as well. And they're like, "Oh, you edit as well? Can you edit my film?" Okay, cool. But at the same time, like you said, piggybacking because you're paying attention to what's going on.
yeah,
I'm learning what a grip is. I'm
Mm.
learning what a spark is. I know the first AD is the boss. You know what I mean?
right,
Of the
right.
actual set kind of thing. And like, you know what a DOP is and all of that stuff. And I was just gaining all this knowledge for 2 years doing that stuff.
For
And
free.
it's for free. It's like free knowledge just
Right. And
being
like
there.
you
Yeah.
said, you see how you said like 5 or 6 kids do each other's film.
Yeah.
How I got hired, what I would show up and I would love what I was doing. That the next kid who was doing his film would hire me. Like you said, the group, there's
Yeah.
5 or 6, he would
Yeah.
hire me, and then he would hire me, and then he would hire me. And then before you know it, I was doing a NYU film after NYU film and learning how to act on a real set. Because people think if you go to acting school, you're going to be a great actor. That's so false.
Oh.
Because you're in a room talking to two people crying or whatever. But when you're on a set, it's the distraction. You got 100 people going makeup, hair, wardrobe, click, don't do this, can't move here,
Mm.
action. So you gotta process 10,000 things within a minute before he says action. Remember, you got writer's notes, DP's notes, director's notes, makeup, wardrobe, hair, lighting. You can't move here, you're out of the light. So there's so much to process, and that's where the NYU films came in way better than the acting school. Acting school is only going to teach you to cry in your bathroom by yourself. My eyes.
Mm.
But when you're on a set, there's 100 people. If you mess up, I call it the downward spiral. People start to get nervous because everybody's watching you. Remember, you're doing a scene, 100 people staring at you intently, right? Camera, everything. So when you mess up, people start to get nervous. See, I don't really care. I never got nervous. I would just always be like, all right, run it, run it. Most of the scenes I did in 24 were 2 takes, 3 takes. Sopranos, most of the scenes were 1 or 2 takes.
Wow.
I'm always
I was gonna ask you regarding that. Famous actor director that's famous for one take and move on. Clint Eastwood. I saw you worked with him on
I did Jersey Boys.
yeah, in Jersey Boys. What was
Yeah.
he like? And is that process true about the one take for
Well, he
and
was
then move on?
amazing. But
Yeah.
I worked with okay. I did a movie like 30 years ago called Suicide Kings, and
Oh,
Christopher
with
Walken, everyone's
Sean Pat,
Leonard, Dennis
yeah, Christopher
Leary, Walken,
Walken.
Very
everyone's in
Yeah.
it,
famous
right?
cast, yeah.
So I do this movie. I have no lines. This is why I tell kids when you take a job, show up ready to win the Super Bowl. Don't if you don't want to get paid, you're worried about money. Don't go. Don't make the set bitter because you're bitter about your trailer or your money. You know what you get before that deal. Go and show up. I show up every time 100 miles an hour. I don't care if it's his podcast. I don't care if it's starring in the 24. You get me. You get 100% energy. I always want to win. I don't want to win the game. I want to win every play. Every play, I want to beat you. I played sports for 10 years. I want to pound you to the ground every play so you remember me. And I took the same mindset to acting. So, when I would show up, right, so I did this movie for free. I was supposed to be in a big role. My buddy's a writer producer. He goes, Louis, come and do one day for me. You have no lines. You're in a car with Dennis Leary. You just hang out with him. I want you in the movie. The director didn't want me in the movie. It was a big role. Brad Garrett ended up getting it. I was like, okay, you got it, my man. I did him a favor. I show up one day. Follow me? Georgianne Walken, who cast Sopranos, who cast Entourage, her husband is Christopher Walken. Okay.
Ah.
Yeah. So anyway, I I show up to one night. The director's like, yeah. You're not even going to be in this movie. I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm in the car. I'm an extra. Dennis Leary has a 5-page monologue talking about whatever he was talking about. He looks at me, he never met me. He goes, hey, to the director, come here. The director comes up. He goes, see all these pages? He goes, yeah, I'm not going to say any of this. He goes, me and this guy are going to improvise. I was like, holy cow. I was like, okay. 12 hours in the car, me and Leary just going back and forth, going back. The next day, the director's like, yeah, none of this is going to be in there. I was like, okay, have a great day, right? I leave. About 5 months later, they call me to loop. You know, looping is you go into. He
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
goes,
yeah.
so the director all of a sudden is nice to me. Hey, you're gonna make you a star. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought I was cut out of this movie. I go in. I'm in 9 scenes throughout the whole movie from
Oh,
that
that's
one.
amazing.
And right, so you go, you show up energetic every time. I could have been, I have no lines. No, f that. I showed up like I was the star of that thing.
Mm.
Energy, collaboration. So anyway, long story short, Georgianne Walken, who husband was in it, saw it and loved me and tried to get me on Sopranos immediately for first season. So okay, so I end up getting on Sopranos. I did a show with Malcolm McDowell called Fantasy Island. It was a remake of Fantasy Island. We shot it in Hawaii. I got that show with Barry Sonnenfeld, and I pulled me out of the first season of Sopranos as I was auditioning. So anyway, I get the thing. So I'm in the movie with Walken. Okay, flash forward to 30 years later on Jersey Boys, right? I'm walking on set, and Clint Eastwood, he goes, there's really not a big role for Louis. We can't, but we want him in there. We're going to have him play Christopher Walken's bodyguard. I was like, wow. Like, I'm going to get to go work with Clint Eastwood and Christopher Walken every
That's
day for
mad.
like,
That's
right? And I'm
crazy.
like, I don't care if I have to pay
Yeah,
you to show up, I'm showing up.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, so wait, it gets better. So I get there and I'm all happy. Oh, hey. So Christopher Walken sees me walking toward him, right? He's like, Louis Lombardi. And I'm like, yeah, hi, Mr. Walken. He goes, Louis, I'm a huge fan of yours. Now I'm thinking somebody's
Yeah,
get
yeah,
out of
yeah.
here. I go, no way. He's like, Louis, you were in Suicide Kings. We were in that movie together. And I'm like, how did you remember that? He goes, you were on Sopranos. He goes, you're a great actor. Now this is Walken, first day meeting him. And I was like, almost started crying in front of him. I don't want to be like a little bitch. I was like, okay, I was like sitting there going, going, like, this is surreal. And he
Wow.
was like, get in the car, come with me, come have lunch with me. And again, his wife was Georgianne, who cast Sopranos. And she tried to get me on immediately, but he was a fan from Suicide Kings. And then when I did Sopranos, so I didn't realize until 30 years later. So anyway, treated me like gold. Louis, you're the best. Oh my God. And I was like sitting there every day with him. And I was just going, yeah. So every day, Clint Eastwood would walk by and he would go, and me and Walker would be sitting there. He'd be like, we need more cowbells. Clint Eastwood would say it to Walker, right? So wait, so by like date 20, Walken looks to me, he goes, I wish this guy would effing stop saying that. I'm
Amazing.
laughing. And he was every time he walked by Clint, he would go, you need more cowbell. And I would be like, I thought Walken was going to take a poke at him at one time.
Just
But
having
now I'm
jokes with
sitting
Clint
there
Eastwood.
going, you can't imagine being in a room with Clint walking and like I'm in the middle of them. I would just sit there and listen. And so Clint was the coolest director in a way where this is how he directed. Now everybody worked with him since '68. Everybody. They're all like his crew for 30 years.
Wow.
He don't even have to say anything. And they're like, okay, we got it, Clint. And just walks all cool and chill. And when he sits back in his chair, he goes up. He don't say action. He goes, go.
Wow.
And I'm like, go where? I'm like, what does he mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that means action. And he sits down. He's like, go. And then at the end, he'll be like, okay, stop. I'm like, this is the craziest thing. There's no caught yelling, director go, the coolest, most chill
Chilled
person.
out ever.
I was like, man, why didn't I work with this guy 30 years ago? Instead of being yelled at all the time, this guy was just chill. Everybody loves him. Everybody worked with him for 40 years, and he was a great guy. And then walking with him, and every day, Chris Walken would be like, okay, here we go again. All right. But it was funny. It was like watching these two legends. And who the hell am
Yeah.
I? I'm just like sitting there fly. And it was an amazing experience. And even working with Malcolm McDowell, I did a show called Fantasy Island, the remake, and we moved to Hawaii before Sopranos. But I got to work with Malcolm McDowell for a year. He was the nicest, most coolest person you've ever been around. I learned a lot of stuff about acting from him. Like, like not everything's so serious. A lot of these actors are like, the coffee's hot. Oh, man. Malcolm would be like, it's acting, darling. It's acting. Just act. Because he would make fun of, I think it was Dustin Hoffman, who, when he did that movie, he was rolling around in the dirt. He became a bum. Remember, he did all this to get into the role. And I think Peter O'Toole or something said to him, one of these major old acts told Dustin, it's acting, dear. So Malcolm would always say that. I don't need to go roll around in the dirt. I don't need to do this. It's acting, act. So I learned a lot, like how to respect a lot of people. Like he was really respectful, Malcolm, to everyone, a lovable guy. He acted like a 5-year-old in a great way, where he brought you at comfortability every time you're on a set with Malcolm. So I was, listen, I'm very, very, very blessed. Before Sopranos, before Entourage 424, I worked with Robin Williams, who I just wanted to hug every day, the nicest person I've ever been around, an actor or not, right? I was with him for months, me and Jared Harris. Jared Harris is an actor. I don't know if you know Jared Harris is. His
Oh yeah,
dad was Richard
Richard
Harris.
Harris's son.
Yes,
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
Jared have been friends. We did a movie back in the day with Ivan Reitman, with Billy Crystal, Robin Williams. It was Father's Day. We
Father's
became
Day. Oh man, what was that like working with Robin Williams and Billy Crystal?
the most amazing experience ever. And Robin just couldn't, like, this was a real person.
Mm.
Like, amazing. And Billy Crystal was from the Bronx, so he would always come over to me. Hey, Louis, this is how I know him. Remember I told you I saw him at the game with Bill Friedkin and Jerry?
Yeah.
He had known me from this movie. And we always talked about, he always talked about the Yankees with me, and we'd walk around. Billy always liked me because he was from the Bronx. I was from the Bronx. So when I saw him with Cherry Lanson that night at the Clippers game on the court, Billy came running over. Louis, my wife wants to get a picture with you. I was like, Billy, I didn't think he was going to remember me. Like, he's walking with me on his arm around me on the court, went back, took a picture. But that's what I was saying. There's so many people from 24, like big, John McCain came to set before he passed and was like, I want to be in the scenes with Edgar. And he kept calling me Edgar. I go, my name is Louis Lombardi. McCain. Okay, Edgar. When your mom died, I go, okay. I go, okay, Miss McCain. And he goes, okay, Edgar. I go, I'm Louis. Louis like kept saying it. Yeah, right over his head.
I
He was like,
told you,
who's
everyone
Louis?
gets into
Oh,
24 more than they should.
Yeah. So
I
it
gotta
was, I mean,
ask you. I gotta ask you,
it,
what was it like working with on Natural Born Killers with
my first movie. And this is
really?
where and I did a movie, an independent film called Amongst Friends in
Right.
1993. 30 of my friends got arrested. I was sitting in the Bronx by myself. God intervenes and goes, hey, I get a phone call. We did this movie 2 years before. Says, hey, we did this independent film from backstage with the NYU things. I would send my picture. We did this movie. Mira Savino cast it. She was no one. She was just an actor. Her dad put up 10 grand to do this movie called Amongst Friends. Amongst Friends was an independent film. Turns out everybody went to jail in the Bronx. I'm sitting home alone. I get a phone call, the director going, hey, dude, our film is going to Sundance Film Festival. It was nothing in 1993. It was nothing. It was a real film festival. It wasn't like it is today, corporate America.
Oh, yeah,
So
don't.
I had nothing. I had nothing. Nobody was around. Everybody went to jail. I took my $5,000 in my car and I drove to LA. Didn't know a soul, didn't know anything. Drove across country, picked up Mira Savino and one of the other film people, and we drove to Sundance, changed our lives. Mira got recognized by Robert Redford, put her in Quiz Show. That started her career. I got an agent right out of Sundance. So now growing up, my idol is Oliver Stone. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
My
What's it
idol.
like working
Not
with
it
him?
isn't Scorsese, it isn't Coppola, it's Oliver Stone, right? I
Platoon,
just like
man.
idolize him.
Yeah.
Realistic, gritty, real movies. As a kid, I would always be like Oliver Stone. I read his book. I always wanted to be like Oliver. I loved him. I go to Sundance. I get out of Sundance. I drive back to LA. I got an agent. The director calls me again. Another like he called me to say, "Hey, we got Sundance." When my life we thought was over, it ended up becoming the beginning at
Wow.
25. And I go to Sundance. It blows me up. I drive back. The director calls me and goes, "Hey, bro, I need a ride." I go, "Where?" He goes, "I need a ride to Oliver Stone's office." I go, "Are you kidding?" Because he never
That's
called.
insane.
I go, "I'll be right there." I pick him up. I drive to the office, right? And I go into the office and I'm like, I can't believe my first week in Hollywood. This is the guy I want to be like. I want to make movies like this is. I'm sitting in a room with him. So
Dream
I
come
walk
true.
in. What?
Dream come true, right?
Unbelievable. So I go into the room with him, and he's sitting, and he's a lunatic, Oliver. Lunatic. Lunatic. So for some reason, he likes me. So I walk in, and he's talking to the director. Hey, and he looks to me and he goes, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm sorry. I just drove this guy." He goes, I'm only messing with you." He goes, "Come into the meeting." I go, "Okay." I go into the meeting. He's telling the director, "I'll direct anything you want for my library." Anyway, long story short, he turns to me at the end of the meeting and goes, "I love your look. I'm going to put you in my next movie."
Oh
I had
wow.
no union, bro. I had no union card.
Yeah.
I had no. He got me my union card on Natural Born Killers. I had
Oh
no
wow.
union card. I was a kid from the Bronx, so I met him. He goes, "I love you. I'm going to put you in my next movie." Now I'm in Hollywood 6 months. I don't hear back from him. It was January, on this friggin' Hollywood people. I hate everyone in Hollywood. This is my first experience. I'm mumbling under my breath. My agent calls me in like July or June. She goes, "Hey, Oliver wants you. They're just going to send you a plane ticket. You're going to go to Chicago. We don't know where he wants you in the movie, but he wants you in the movie, and you're in this film. 3 months in Chicago with Robert Downey, Woody Harrelson, Tommy Lee, Juliette Lewis, Don Murphy, Jane. Every single massive person is
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino wrote the script. You know that, right? For
Yeah, I
that."
know that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oliver changed it. He punched him in the face. It was not Oliver,
Yeah.
but he punched it at the producer. So anyway, before you know it, I have my union card. I'm doing Natural Born Killers. They use my pictures on the back of the boxes, on the DVD, everything. My picture was the publicity picture, me holding Woody Harrelson in chains. So it turns out that I end up getting like what I projected in my mind, like I want to do. I end up getting my first job by the person that I really wanted to learn and be around.
Wow.
And
Oh,
he
that's
went to
amazing.
NYU and did NYU films, and his professor was Martin Scorsese in the 70s.
I gotta ask, I noticed in your filmography you did a short film called The Boss and you did a feature called Doughboys.
Yeah.
And I've never seen, obviously the short's hard for us to see because I didn't see it on YouTube, but Doughboys, never heard of it. I want to see it because I love directors' first features. So in
Doughboys is
terms of
out there. If
Oliver
you type
Stone,
it in, it's on a bunch of channels. It's being distributed again right now. You just got to
okay.
type in Doughboys, Louis Lombardi Doughboys, and
What
it'll
what
pop
what
up where it is.
but what was that like? You've been an actor for some time because I saw it was like 2007 or 2008.
That
Is
was
that released?
2000. That was right after 24. Yeah.
Right. So you've been an actor for a good time now, a good time, good old time now, and you've just moved into directing your first feature. And obviously you said you want to be like Oliver Stone. Was that more in the directing thing or originally, or was it you always want to be an actor, or is it a case of you wanted to direct and then acting was the way in, or
No, I always wanted to direct. I write. I've written 30 different projects. I just write all the time. I love directing, and I think why I'm a decent director is because I can relate to actors. If, actors are temperamental, they're upset all the time, they're crazy actors. But I'm always able to navigate that because I am an actor. So I understand what you're going through in reality, not going, I understand what you're going through and not. So I was, and actors follow me, but it's kind of funny because when I did The Boss, everybody that's in The Boss that was 97, when I did 2007, 10 years later, most of those same people are in The Boss that are in Doughboys.
ah
And Doughboys, I
Wow.
had like Mike Starr, Andrew Keegan, and The Boss, I had Peter Green, who just passed away. He was one of my friends for a long time, and he starred in it. And Mike Starr's in that, and all Jimmy Matt. Most of the people that were in that, and I got the great thing about Doughboys. One thing about The Boss was we shot it all at the Roxbury. My buddy owned it, and his dad let us shoot it, gave us money. So we had to run at the Roxbury, which is a legendary Hollywood nightclub, been around forever, right? when I did Doughboys was shot all in the Bronx in my neighborhood. So the whole neighborhood turned out for me, to
Wow.
help me and
Wow, that's
everybody. So it was
awesome.
like, yeah, it was like, yo, this guy came back 30 years. He's shooting it in the neighborhood. We're putting all his friends in it. And it was about, and again, I try to sway away from gangster, gangster, gangster. So the
Mm.
movie was about two brothers. One's a degenerate gambler and one is trying to run the business. And what happens, happens. And it was a great story. We won like 10 festivals. And a lot of the people compared it, a lot of the reviewers and reviews and stuff were, it was compared to It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful World. What is that? Wonderful Life with that old movie that was like famous. I think
Oh,
It's a
Wonderful
Wonderful
Life.
Oh, I
Yeah,
Life.
remember my mum
Yeah.
talking about that movie quite a lot.
the Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, the Christmas
Yeah.
movie. And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what most people say it's about because it was a magical kind of sad story, but turns out to be happy, even though it's tragic and sad. It's kind of, film did great, thank goodness. I traveled, I did all these festivals with it. But it was great being home in the Bronx, full
I
circle,
bet.
with all
Any
my family, people giving me free food for craft service and free trails and free this and free everybody was like, we want to help. The
any
Bronx
plans
turned
to direct again?
I directed that. I wrote, directed, and starred in that.
Oh no, no. I asked any plans to direct
Oh
again?
yeah, yeah. I'm working on a couple of things. But again,
Yeah.
these days the business has changed.
Oh yeah.
It's not like it used to. Yeah. It used to be you do a movie, it was exciting. Now it's like became too businessy.
Mm,
Mm.
Too businessy. Even though I was saying earlier, it's the show business, it's the business. It used to be fun. You got a movie like Father's Day, even though you're making 30 or 40,000, you're not making four. It was still fun. You show up, you're Robin Williams, everyone's nice, you're eating good. These days, it's like, all right, we're going to film this in India. You're going to go do a movie in Ireland, and you're going to get no money. You're not going to get residuals. You're not going to get anything. Can you fly yourself out there? And you start going, what?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
where's this business? Yeah, the business is became terrible. It ain't no,
Mm.
it ain't really fun anymore. You get a job and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen? Where am I going to Portugal to shoot? All over
Yeah.
the world is shooting, not here in LA. You have 27 sound stages that are empty. You have studios that are going bankrupt that they're putting condos on, Warner Brothers after 100 years. Like, what
Mm.
happened? Like, what? I mean, I get you move along with the times, but that's why the movies are fading out because they're making movies with messages instead of entertaining.
Oh,
That makes
yes.
sense.
Yeah.
Everything's a
Oh,
message.
100% agree.
$100% get that.
You're on your phone all day and you're on the news. You don't want to see a message. You want to go get away in a
And
movie
be entertained.
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
Yeah.
entertained.
That's
And
uh,
that's how I started as a young kid. I didn't go to school. I would hop on the train at 10 years old and I would go to the movies
mm.
2, 3 times a week. And I was always the movie, even till now, I would go, I have the AMC pass. I would go 3 times a week. Now there's hardly nothing to go see. Everything's like the same remake to this, the redone,
Yeah, I've got
the
the
Yeah.
same.
pass. I've got the film pass where I get to go as many times. I pay like $20 a month and I can
Yeah,
go as many times. But you're like some months you're like I go like 3 times a week. But like right now, I think I've been once in the last 2 weeks, and you're like, I'm paying
yeah,
20, but there's not just the caliber of movie. Like we go back to some great movies that you've done and TV shows. The caliber of film and TV now, it's all that quick fix. It's all that Netflix. It's all Paramount Plus. It's
yeah,
all it's all we must have. We must. It's content, content, content,
Yeah.
and sometimes content is overtaking quality.
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 And you're like, come on, man, give me. When you made things like 24 and The Sopranos, you had to watch each episode. Now you're like, I could miss 4 episodes, 5 episodes, come back
Yeah,
and fucking nothing. Everything's still the fucking same. It's nothing's
yeah.
nothing's different.
I come back in a year and it's the same thing. And a lot of these
Yeah,
shows get lost in a year, 2 years later. Because we're going to make season two, like, 2 years later. Then they wonder why the ratings are down because no one's
yeah,
keeping track with it. It's become fast food of entertainment for
yeah,
streamers.
100%.
Speaking
McDonald's.
of,
You feed your kid McDonald's every day. He's going to grow up sick, horrible. He's going to feel terrible mentally, physically, and everything. Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
spe-
You
I know.
watch
speaking of,
streamers.
speaking of fast food entertainment, the comic book genre seems to be churned out like a conveyor belt these days. But you starred in very, very briefly as a poker player in my
Spider-Man.
personal favorite comic book movie of all time, Spider-Man 2
And
with
it's
Sam
funny,
Raimi.
I got that role. Like Clint hired me just saying there's and Oliver saying there's no roles, we're just gonna put you in. I same thing. Sam Raimi calls me.
Oh,
And he's like,
wow. Okay.
I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of this guy. He told my
Yeah.
agent, can I get on the phone? So he gets on, he goes, man, the movie's already cast again. Another, he goes, but I want you in here somewhere. Would you please just come and do one day? We'll pay you. I was like, wow, this is insane. I got Sam Raimi calling. I show up, and that was the scene. And
You and Joey Diaz just randomly just show up in that film. And
I
like
love Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz cracks me up no end, man. I see you work with him a couple of times, like Sopranos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I
Hey, but
remember,
let me
yeah.
tell you, I go back with Joey Diaz day one, 33 years ago when I moved to LA. We would see each other on auditions and we would tease each other, bust each other's balls, make fun of the other actors.
Oh
This is
man, I'm such a fan.
33. This is
Yeah.
33 years ago, me
Oh
and
man.
Joey. We'd make fun of me. Look at that guy in the corner, blah, blah, blah. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
And up until like 10 years ago when we used to really audition. Now it's like Zoom or not even Zoom. Do a self-tape. Go in your bathroom. It like there's no more COVID. There's no more anything. Why are you not bringing this back to normalcy? Why are we not in rooms auditioning? And that was
Yeah.
my biggest strength as an actor because my personality was my acting school. I could show up and be comfortable with people in 2 minutes. Where you're in your bathroom hitting play and then stopping. You can't. There's no energy. You're not walking into a room and going, "Hey, how are you?" Being able to now it's just like robotic. Okay, Zoom. You're gonna not even Zoom. If it was a Zoom like this, I wouldn't even mind.
Mm.
But you're like, what do these people come to? You're sending 1,000 self tapes in. You're not watching any of them because I saw casting people saying it. We don't really watch them. We watch 30 seconds, then we shut them off. So why am I doing a 10-minute audition when you're
Yeah.
not watching? And you know my work. I've done 100 movies. I've done 10 of the biggest series in and I'm still auditioning for 2 lines in a movie on a self tape.
I know,
That
right?
goes to show you where the business has gone. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's overdoing their job. They don't need to do it. They need to feel important in my eyes. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it's kind of sad, you know. It's like the business has become junk food for the mind.
Hmm.
That's why a lot of big directors are saying, "No, we're not doing movies for Warner Brothers. Anything that goes straight to streaming, we don't want any part of it."
And that's
What
the
I
thing, and that's the thing with the whole streaming giant thing. Like, there was a certain prestige about seeing it on the big screen, going to the
Yes.
cinema every Friday night. I used to work in a cinema for 20 years. No joke.
Wow.
First 20 years of life. You know what? Towards the end, it was like it was that job I went to one day a week just to get free tickets and you know
That's
what I mean? Like
great. You see
so
every movie for free.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally.
That's how we
And
roll.
and literally like, I used to do projection and stuff and I'd see how it changed when it went from film to digital and then like the way it is now, like just before COVID, cinema, if you told me cinema wasn't gonna go away, I'd say that's rubbish and crazy talk. But post-COVID, it's been completely different. And
Horrible.
like you said,
Horrible.
like I watched an interview with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon recently because they just had that film by Joe, what's his name? The guy that did Smoking Aces, Carnahan, big fan of
Right.
that guy. They did a movie called The Rip for
Right. I saw that
one of the
Netflix.
streamers, and they were saying in an interview how the streamers want to have like the plot repeated about 3 4 times because the kids are in that scrolling on their phone culture, and I'm like, wow. And when you look at the way films were made in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, that even the 2000s, like cinema was like peak, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. You made a
and
movie and it was like, I'm going to see
yeah,
a
and it was just
movie.
and now you watch it start, it winds me up so much when people say, oh, that's how they make them now. It's like, no, fuck that shit,
No,
and
it's
it's
become
like,
the so
yeah,
let me tell you something. It's become the social media mindset. And that's why verticals, you know what verticals are becoming so big in Hollywood. The 5 episode, the 3 minute episodes. You know why? Because of
yeah,
what you just said.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody,
So
we
it's
Small
only
the
have
is,
a
world
2 minute attention span.
yeah,
It's
TikTok, Facebook,
insane.
Instagram. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the world
So
we
they're
live in.
kind of custom in the entertainment world to the social media world where everything is 2 minutes, two
yeah.
minutes, 2 minutes. I'm like, no kids watch TV. No kids watch movies or TV anymore.
And it
No.
goes back to what you were saying about auditioning. Like I read a quote by Bryan Cranston years ago, because that guy was on stuff forever, and then
Yeah.
he's in Breaking Bad, and he's like everywhere now. But like he said something where he really enjoyed the auditioning process because what he used to do was he would put his all into that audition. So
Right.
even if like he didn't get the part, at least he got the shot and he put
Yeah.
his all to it. You've done the audience thing because you're playing before an audience like you would theatre almost. And
Yep.
even if it didn't work out, you could learn from it and you could tweak stuff. And
But
now because it's self-tape, because of
you can't do anything.
yeah, you can't do anything. And that person that watches the self-tape, they're not gonna appreciate the
No.
performance from the performer because
Right.
they're just taking that snapshot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30
And,
seconds.
and
And
and these
then
kids don't know your body of work anymore. No one knows. They're like, "Well, who are
yeah.
you? What have you done?" And to that point, it's like my biggest strength would be going into rooms. And even
Mm,
if you audition and don't get the role, they will know your personality. They will feel your energy. And a lot of times they call me 6 months later. Hey, we got another role. Come and do it. But you put your presence. You set your mark where people go, wow, this guy's cool. I want to work with him. Even if it's not this role. And people, man, I had friends that would go, oh, they're not casting me for this role. I go, dude, this is a long-term business. 30 years from now, they may
Yeah.
cast you. It may
yeah.
change your life. Relax. People get so
Yeah.
bitter and it becomes personal. To me, I'm just like, it's business. I would show up. And like you said, it's like theater. You go into the room, there's 5 or 6 people, and they're all like, hey, Louis, great to meet you. I love John 24. I love John this. I like John this. And you show up, and the energy is like you said, like theater. And that's when I used to be like the bull in there. But my personality, before you say one word in the audition, I would just start talking about shit that was funny, like personality. Hey, what
Mm.
is this? People would start laughing, and you break the ice. So the audition became secondary to the person, to me, meaning the person that's auditioning. The audition was like, okay, this is great. This guy can perform. We know that because he's done 100 movies, but his personality is great to be around and we want to hang around. And that's how I got so many movies early on.
Mm,
I would
Yeah.
just
yeah.
show up and just make people laugh and like it. And they'd be like, want to be in my movie? Want to be in my movie? After Oliver Stone hired me, I did 3 months in Joliet prison. I hung out with them every single night. They took me to Robert Downey became one of my best buddies. Like at the time, I haven't spoke to him in 20 years, but he took me out every night, took me everywhere, every dinner, every restaurant, every bar, every club, just in his limo. Me and him, we'd be hanging out in his room. But then everybody would be in his room's partying. Then he would just be like, "All right, Lou, we're gonna go out tonight." Okay. He just liked me for some reason. So, and Oliver did too. They invited me everywhere. I was a kid from the Bronx with no union card. Before you know it, I'm hanging out all over Chicago with these guys in restaurants, dinners, not just filming. And so the energy, you show up, it's the energy. And there's no longer that. These days, like, how can I get you out fast enough? How can I get you out without paying you? How can I
Hmm.
get, and when after Oliver hired me, okay, I'll make this quick. I got hired in the next 2 years, I would say 3 years by Brian Singer. I did Usual Something, John Landis, Tim Burton, Ivan Reitman. I ended up working with the 10, 15 biggest directors in the next 6 years after that. So
Those
Wow.
directors are some of the biggest names in the
but what
game.
happened was like the
Mm.
NYU thing. I learned how to
Yeah.
make movies from the kids. Now I'm learning how to make movies with the biggest directors who love me, who are all cool with me, and even the DPs like Hector Alonso, Bob Richardson. I would stand behind them. Why do you do that? And they loved it. They weren't like, "Get out of here, kid." They were like, "Well, we moved this because of this." I'd be like I'm getting a bazillion-dollar film school in the real world with Oscar-winning DPs and directors helping. Like they loved it. None of them thought I was a pain in the ass because I'll ask a million questions. Why do you do that? I even do it till today. I'll stop and ask directions 5 times. How do I get there? It's 3 blocks, make a left. And when I make the left, I'll stop again. How do I get there? My daughter's
I
like, I
love
just
it.
navigated. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I
Old
like
school.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's interacting with people.
And I love people, so I'm a people
Dude,
person. I don't mind
honestly.
asking. And now I have a pizza company with my daughter called Ava Lou's Italian Pizza Company. We do massive events, 10,000 people. We have a truck. We're about to go into a whole franchise model of it. The name of the company is Ava Lou's. Ava's my daughter and I'm Lou. And we developed this pizza company. It's blowing up. We're doing massive events. We're about to open up a whole franchise of it. And can I tell you? It's so much more fun than Hollywood because when our truck is parked, it don't matter what color you are, what nationality you are, how fat or skinny or stupid or smart. Everyone is outside that truck eating, laughing.
Mm.
There's no,
And
hey,
this is in New
there,
York,
I'm going to kill
or
you off on 24. It's more like, it's more like it's the camaraderie of the food. I grew up with all Italian women. No man, they were all in jail. So I learned how to cook from 5 years old. And now me and my daughter do it. And we started this amazingly massive pizza company. And we're about to franchise it. But my point is those lessons as a kid, when it looked terrible, there was no man, I was learning how to cook. Turns out to be my secondary part of life is about to launch a massive pizza company from the devastation of my life. You know, all the guys dead are in jail. It turned BB in the kitchen with all these women all day because they were just, cooking for 10 guys, 10 boys like us, all us boys. And it turned out to be the biggest thing because now my career is becoming this food thing and everyone's happy. Hey, people eat pizza and they're all smiling. They want to take a picture. There's no stress. Even though it's a hard work, it's the most fun time of my life now creating this pizza company. Again, everyone's happy. There's no race divide. There's no nationality. Everyone smiles. We
How the
put a
world
table
should
in
be,
front of the
Louis. That's
truck.
how the world should be, my friend.
Me,
Louis, thank you so much for coming on our show, man.
thank you, man. I love this. This was
Honestly,
a great.
this has been, you've been very generous with your time, brother. We
Don't worry, man.
really,
This is great. You guys are
really do
great.
appreciate it. We're gonna get you back on because we could do like another hour. We're gonna reach out. We're gonna get you back on, my
Yeah.
man. There's so much more that we want to talk to you about. Keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, they
Thank you.
say we do this quite a lot now. We've been going for over a year and we've interviewed some really big people in Hollywood. We've interviewed TV stars. You've been one of our favorites, man.
Oh
Honestly,
my God. Thank you, man. Oh, you're
it's
gonna make me
been,
cry.
it's
I
been.
feel like Edgar.
Now, I'm not going to shout
Thank
at you and
you.
call you a pussy, but it was honestly, it's
Well,
been,
thank you. That really means a lot
it's
to me.
been
I
an
really,
absolute honor for us to sit down and just spend the last 45, 50 minutes with you, brother.
thank you.
I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
I hope there's some Comic Cons over here in the UK. I hope I get to see you over here
Yeah,
in the
man, I hope
UK,
so.
my
I'm trying to
man.
get back. I'm trying to get back on the circuits. I stopped for a while,
Ah,
but I'm
dude.
trying to get back,
Dude, if
so
you're ever in the UK, man, you're going to see me and Sash in line to come say hi to you and thank you personally, brother.
thank
Really,
you.
really do grateful, man. Wish you every success for the future, my friend.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. This was a great interview. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And
Anyone wants to check us out, just go to Completed It Podcast on YouTube. We can't thank you enough for the views that we've been getting recently. Like I say, we've been doing this a year now. And oh my God, it's blowing, it's incredible. And we just get to sit down and relive our childhood and chat to people like Louis. And we're just like, I'm sitting here with Edgar from 24, and it's just like, I'm like, my mind's blowing. It's absolutely incredible. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until next time, everybody, you stay safe.